slowly continue to build out our brand. Applicant Stack is the recruiting and onboarding solution. And then you've got our bundled package, which is WorkForceHub. So that brings together onboarding, recruiting, time and attendance, and then you've got the HRIS side of things. So with this particular client, they can utilize part of the system and then grow as their needs change.
Okay. And so just two things. So I see that you're recording this. Will I have access to review this?
I will send you a copy. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then the second thing is, can you repeat those different groupings? So you said that applicant stack is a recruiting and onboarding hub that is a part of Swipeclock. So is it my understanding that the head organization is Swipeclock, and then there's like these different pockets of entities or
just solutions. So Swipeclock is the company, and there are different packages that we offer. So you've got applicant stack, which can offer recruiting and onboarding. You've got time and attendance, which would be TimeWorks Plus, Time Simplicity. And then you've got WorkForceHub or Hub, which is the HR component. So you can purchase the systems a la carte, use them one at a time. Or if you bundle them together, they create what we call WorkForceHub. That's a complete workforce management solution. So you'll have different portals, a single access point, but depending on what you're looking to do, you'll be able to route to the necessary portal, whether you need to create job listings and post those out to job boards, manage candidates through the hiring process, and then when you're ready to hire them, digitally send them a new hire packet that they can complete tax forms, review company handbooks, policies, procedures, sign off on all that digitally, and then push it back into our system. And then once that's complete, depending on what the client wants to use, they can then have an option for employees to record their time. So mobile apps, computer clocks, wall-mounted hardware for employees to clock in and out every day, and a system to record that time. And then if we needed to add in the attendance side, so here's a schedule that this employee will be working this week, where we can create those schedules very easy, very quickly, publish those schedules and get them out to the employee for visibility. And then each employee has their portal where they have access, to different items within the system. So timekeeping, hours, PTO tracking, and then of course the HR side of things. So if they want to have access to, change their address, update their direct deposit information, if they do performance reviews, if they update company handbooks. So basically it's just an HR storage platform that gives management the ability to securely share files.
Okay, so two quick questions. One of them is in regards to licensure. And so let's say they're going to have to keep track of licenses for their employees or their contractors. Is this something that this system can do as far as like, let's say is there ability to put in the system like this person's contract or this person's license starts on this date and ends on this date, and we need to make sure that we're reminding them or we're getting a reminder? Is this something that you all have the capability for?
Yes. So each profile or employee profile is customizable within what the system can track. Now, there are different alerts that can be set up. Some are automated, but what will not be automated is alerting of the employee itself. So we would have to tell the system, here's an employee, here's a certification or a license start, here's the expiration date. When that expiration date comes due, management will be alerted. From there, management can create some type of workflow or reminder to then be in contact with the employee through the system to update the certification, renew your driver's license, and then make sure that it's a task to start and complete all through the system. So depending on how they want to interact, if they want to do more paper and then upload information into the system, that's an option. Or if they want to try and move everything to be more digital, they can store digital copies in their library, and then they can share that documentation through the system and have employees interact with it, digitally sign off on it, or simply just view it and then alert management when they've viewed that document. And then it's really up to management what they want to have visible to the employees. So new hire packet, for instance, tax information, policies, procedures, non-competes, company handbooks. Once employees complete that through the system, we can then tell the system, hey, don't allow the employee to see that information, or allow the employee to see that information moving forward.
Okay. So just out of curiosity, you mentioned the timekeeping aspect. From a timekeeping perspective, what is that information able to flow into? Because is it my understanding that you all don't have any type of payroll system that you have or work with, I should say?
No, we offer integrations with about a dozen payroll platforms, but they are specialty payroll platforms. So Swipeclock has an open API, so we will work with any payroll software solution that wants to design an integration.
So
some do, some don't.
Have you all done anything integrations with QuickBooks?
No. So QuickBooks offers their own timekeeping system. It's called T-Sheets.
Yeah, no, that's actually what I use to keep track of my clients' hours. So yeah. I'm familiar with that. I just didn't know so currently the head of the organization, everyone submits their stuff via QuickBooks to her, and she basically uses that as their payroll system. So I'm just interested to see how or what would be used to integrate into your all system.
So integration is a very loose term, if you will. We wouldn't have an integration with QuickBooks. It would be an importing and exporting of information. So for timekeeping, we would, at the end of the pay cycle, whatever that may be, weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, we would run a report. We would consolidate the employees and their hours worked, separate out regular hours, overtime, bonuses, commissions, holiday pay, and then we would throw that into a report that we can export out and then import it into QuickBooks. But again, QuickBooks has the online version, they have a desktop version, and they have multiple versions within each of those two platforms. So one of those platforms has a different style of reporting as far as the columns, the layout, and what information needs to be brought over. So that's something that we would build working with the client so that we could save the data in the appropriate file format so that we could get it into QuickBooks.
Okay.
But I do know that QuickBooks Online is less of a possibility. Just speaking from other clients that use QuickBooks Online, it's a little tricky from what I hear.
Okay. Okay, I'll just have to report back to them on that because they have no desire to leave QuickBooks anytime soon. So just knowing that if they decide to work with you all, that that there may be some issues / there will have to be a specific custom workaround.
Sure. Yeah, it's not uncommon.
Okay, but that is something that you all are capable of doing, correct?
I don't want to say yes or no until I have more information, right? It's kind of like I said, integration is a very loose term. And QuickBooks
Mhm.
just, they don't like to play nice with third-party platforms like ours because they want you to use their own. So I think it
Okay.
would be safe to say I would not tell the client that there's an integration with Swipeclock in QuickBooks. I would not say that, no.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just for the timekeeping side. But QuickBooks is mainly an internal use to manage payroll. Is this client actually cutting checks themselves? Or is that just their management system for their own internal books, and then they're sending payroll information to a third party to cut checks, handle taxes, deductions, things like that, you know?
I'm not entirely sure. Um, yeah, I'm not entirely sure, just because I know. So here's the thing: most of the people that are there at the organization are actually contractors. So I'm pretty sure almost everyone is a contractor. But in this next year, the plan is to actually onboard employees. So for the contractors submit their hours, and then they're paid through QuickBooks. And I believe everything's done electronically. So no checks are necessarily provided. It's just a payout through. Um, it's a payout through QuickBooks, because with counselors, it's fee for service kind of work versus like it being like an hourly rate kind of thing. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, definitely something that I would want to talk more to the client about, whether she's actually paying them through QuickBooks or if she's submitting that to a third party. A lot of our clients will use QuickBooks internally for their own books, but when it comes to actually physically getting their employees or their contractors paid, they will submit that to either a CPA, a bookkeeper, a PEO, and they will finalize, the payroll cycle. So definitely something that we would want to learn, because that third party, they may use a system that our system could talk to. So when there is an integration, depending on what they're using of our system, if we're just speaking timekeeping, our system would push or sync that timekeeping data automatically over into payroll. So our system will collect the time, record the time, house all the time, but then it will automatically sync that data, hours worked, different bonuses, commissions, mileage. It will be pushed over into payroll so that there's no manual intervention, there's no importing and exporting. It's just seamless and very simple. So that's an integration.
Okay. Now, when you say payroll, are you saying using one of the systems that you all have used that really does allow for the open, or works well with the open API?
Yeah, so on our website, let me show you my screen here. It actually takes collaboration with both our development team, but also the development team of that payroll platform. So let me come to integration partners right here. So this will just give you an idea. Now these are payroll platforms that, oh, they've changed it. I can send you a list. So if you're familiar with like Accountants World, ExecuPay, Thomson Reuters, Evolution. So these are all payroll softwares that CPA firms, payroll providing companies utilize to process payroll for their clients. So we would offer an integration with all of these, but the integrations, they do change, right? They don't work the same for each payroll platform. So for instance, Accountants World, it's a two-way integration. So what that means is with timekeeping, our system will record all the time and then send it into Accountants World so we can get the employees paid for their hours worked. If we flip on the onboarding component, when we onboard employees digitally through our system, once we collect all the paperwork, we will automatically send all that information over into payroll, and it will populate names, addresses, social securities. Some will even automatically populate the W-4 information, tax deductions.
Okay.
Yeah. So each integration is designed a little bit differently, And it really depends on how Accountant's World wants the two systems to interact versus something like Bamboo, which is more of an HRIS platform that one could say competes with Swipeclock. It's a one-way integration. So we will push information into, Bamboo will push information into our system, but our system won't push anything into Bamboo.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely a big component of getting systems to talk together. So when people say, oh, we integrate, it's a little bit deeper than that.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. I was just using it as like in layman's term.
Yeah, for sure. So with our system, it's very well-rounded, but that is the goal, is to streamline the process, simplify the process, go digital, remove paperwork, right? So with Applicant Stack, you're starting at the recruiting aspect. So this is going to allow me to have a central platform, a dashboard to create jobs, post those jobs to Indeed, Monster, LinkedIn, collect a pool of candidates, manage those candidates, review resumes, have them complete applications, and manage them through the hiring process, right? Whatever
Are
their
you able
internal
to
process is.
Are you able to make your screen bigger? Just because it seems really small. Like at least for this stuff. The other stuff I could see fine, but this is like super small.
So mine's full screen. It's actually on your side. You'll expand the viewing box. There's two arrows that point at one another.
Oh yeah. Yep, I see it. Okay.
Okay. So just high level of Applicant Stack is this system will allow you to create those jobs, post them out to third-party platforms, and then no matter where we post those jobs, Applicant Stack will allow you to use Indeed, Glassdoor, Monster, or not Monster, but Google and LinkedIn, and you can post there unlimited. But we do talk to other job boards. So if I just quickly show you some of the job boards that we communicate with, we can post to virtually anywhere, but some require that you have an account on their platform. So Career Builder, Dice, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, but we can still post
Which
there
one?
if we need to.
The ones that you're the
Organically,
ones that you mentioned. Can you hear me?
it's a little glitchy, but yeah,
Hello, Nate.
I can hear you, yes.
Um, which which ones were the ones that were not that didn't cost anything?
So organically, with our system, you've got
Hear me?
Glassdoor. I can. Can you hear me? Looks like we may have a bad internet connection. Can you hear me still? Can you hear me? Yeah. So organically, Glassdoor, Google for Jobs, Indeed, and LinkedIn. And then, of course, social media websites. So all of those are included, and you can post unlimited jobs and collect unlimited candidates. Our system will still communicate with the other job boards, but they require the client to have an account on their platform. And most of the time there is a fee associated. So if I wanted to post to Monster or ZipRecruiter, I can, but for each job listing that I post, there may be a $5 or a $10 posting fee behind that. And those fees would be separate from our fees, from Swipeclock fees. Okay? So once we decide where we want to post, no matter where candidates find us online, they're all going to funnel into our platform. And we've got all the information available. So what source or what job board did they find us on and apply? What job they applied for? And then we've got information about each one of those candidates. So did we collect a resume? Did we collect a cover letter? Did we collect a copy of their driver's license or a certification? Can I review their application that they filled out? Everything I need to review this candidate and stay engaged. So I can text them through the system, I can email them, and then I can track their progress through our hiring stages. So where are they at in the hiring process? Once we manage them through the hiring process, we can send them offer letters that they can digitally sign off on. And then we can move them to the onboarding piece. Now, the onboarding piece is extremely simple. And what will happen is if we're using the HR aspect, then they will flow over into our HR platform. And again, everything is cloud-based. So it's all accessed through portals online. So once you log in to your HR portal and you're ready to onboard that new hire, they'll be sitting on your new hires dashboard, ready for us to send them a new hire packet with whatever paperwork we've stored in our library. Okay, so whatever new hire paperwork we want to send them, tax information, FSAs, handbooks, non-competes, whatever. You can store as much paperwork in this system as needed, right? There's no storage, there's no charge for, anything like that.
Can you hear me, Nate?
I can.
I'm laughing because I'm looking at this and it says Dunder Mifflin, which is, I believe, from the Office Space, that movie.
Yeah. These are just fun demo accounts that we make up and put funny stuff in.
Yeah,
Good catch.
that's what I kind of figured.
Yep. So this is just my library of new hire paperwork. So what our platform allows us to do is upload that paperwork so that when I'm ready to hire someone that's been pushed over from the recruiting platform, I can quickly build them a new hire packet. And I can just add in the paperwork that I want them to complete. Right? So I need you to fill out an I-9, I need you to fill out a W-4, I need you to review and sign off on our company handbook, non-competes, and then we will securely email this information out to that new hire so they can complete it through our platform, all digitally. So they don't have to print an I-9, print a W-4, it's all going to be filled out digitally. And it's trackable through our system. So we do color coordinate everything, right? You've got yellow, you've got green, you've got red. So this will tell us where the employee or that new hire is at in completing their new hire packet, right? What forms have they completed? What are they still waiting for? Now, employees, they can abandon the process and come back at a later time. This portal or their email to retrieve and access this information is active for 7 days. So from the time you send it to them, they have 7 days before that link expires. Then we would have to resend them the information and they would have to start over. So from here, we've got all of the forms sitting and they'll remain in our platform permanently unless deleted by the admin. All of their forms, so I-9s, W-4s, all in a PDF format ready for us to review. Okay. Now the goal, of course, is to have that integration in place so that once we receive all the paperwork, we can quickly plug in the payroll information so that if we communicate and talk to payroll, it will automatically sync this employee and they'll be sitting in the payroll platform. Right? So that is the goal. So if we don't have that integration, we are simply going to export this information. Most commonly, we can put it into a CSV format, and then we can consolidate most information: name, address, social security number, maybe pay rate information, department codes, employee types, and we can get that quickly exported out of our system, imported into payroll. But as far as tax forms, deductions, that is still going to be a manual entry from reviewing documents and then plugging that into the payroll system. So it's still going to streamline the process, it's just not automatically going to sync that data as if we had a full integration. Okay. Now at the same time, let me log into the timekeeping. So our system will all communicate. So we've built the job, we've collected the candidate, we've hired the candidate. Now they're an employee ready to start working. So now we need them to be on a platform where we can record their time. So they are going to be pushed into the timekeeping portal. And that's what you're seeing on your screen right now. Okay, so all of our systems talk together. So we recruit them, we onboard them, they're pushed into the timekeeping platform. And this is a platform where we just record the employee time. When they're clocking in, when they're clocking out, how many hours they're working. If they're contractors and we need to do job costing or time allocation, we can build out this platform. It's very custom in nature. So we've got over 50,000 clients, every vertical market you can think of. No two accounts are the same. Okay, so it's like T-Sheets and how it operates, but it's just a little bit more custom. It's a little bit more robust. Okay, employees then have a portal. So let me show you that portal real quick. And within that portal, they have access to do different things. So depending on what method we want them to record their time and attendance, they've got an online portal or they've got a mobile app. So everything nowadays, we've got a mobile app for. And it looks like the connection's a little slow, so I gotta slow down my clicks here. So if this client is 100% mobile, 100% remote, employees can do everything from their mobile phone. They can clock in and out, and we can track their location with geotagging and geofencing to ensure that employees are in the correct areas and that management has visibility to where they're at. Employees can keep track of their own hours worked and have visibility into that. So when payday does come, there's no surprises with how many hours were worked versus what was recorded. They've got access to their schedule. What am I working this week? What shift? What department? They can even interact. They can drop shifts, swap shifts, request to drop shifts from management, set preferences of days and times they prefer to work versus days there may be conflict. They've got access to paid time off and sick leave. So it's always up to date, always available, a reference calendar to show what days they've have requested off or even their team or department. And then a quick and easy way to request paid time off. And then of course, they've got their HR section. And then again, depending on how management wants to set up the HR, what they want to have visible, what employees can retrieve, what they can change in terms of direct deposit information, make a change to an address, employees can do all of that through our platform and through a mobile phone. Okay, so it's very easy for the employee, and so they can do it through a mobile phone or they can do it through an online computer or tablet. It's just a website, right? So on the management side, let me log back in over there, and I'll show you the, I don't need to change that. I'll show you the HRIS side of this. So if I go to my HR tab here up at the top, those who have administrative rights will be able to have access into the HRIS platform. Once we onboard the employee, we set them up on timekeeping, and we get their schedule into the system. Now each employee has a profile. Now this profile represents the traditional manila folder in the big steel cabinet sitting in the HR office. We're just going to move all of that information to an online file cabinet. And this employee profile is custom. So we can tell the system what information do we need to track about that employee. Performance reviews, benefit admin, even open enrollment if that's something that your client offers. We've got driver's licenses, certification tracking. So all of this is custom. You with me so far, Ernest? Yeah? It's really, really user-friendly.
Yeah, no, it seems very user friendly, and like with most of these systems, they're very like intuitive. Once obviously the work is done in the background to get it set up properly in workflow, it works fine.
Yep, and that's something that Swipeclock offers, is a white glove implementation and training service. So you've got a small one-time fee to do that. Normally takes about 10 to 14 business days, but we get everything set up, we get everything ready to go, and then we train each client so that they have the access points, the passwords, and they feel comfortable navigating and using the system. Ongoing support is included as well. So should they have questions, they need to change their account down the road, they just reach out to our team. We've got an online ticket system, or they can call our 1-800 number. So we're always available to help them moving forward. Okay, so your traditional HRIS system, that's exactly what this platform houses, but it just takes it one step further because we've got the timekeeping, the scheduling component, and then we've got the recruiting and the onboarding. So everything tied together is WorkForceHub, right? It's a complete labor management solution. For this particular client, if they didn't need the entire solution, they could start with just the recruiting and the onboarding, utilize that component. If they needed the HR to digitally have an employee profile that tracks all of their new hire information, so tax documents, employee information, contracts, certifications, driver's licenses. So this through the center, it's all custom, right? Custom fields. And we can create our own custom fields. So over on the left, we already include a lot of categories that are pretty popular, but I can add more categories. So if I need to add a custom one, I put in the name of the header, and then I can create subcategories below it. So the driver's license is my main header, but I need to track the issuing state, the license number, the expiration. So I can create a new header and then have subcategories. Okay. One really nice feature about our system is you mentioned the certification expirations or driver's licenses. So over on the left, you've got workflows and tasks and alerts. So what we would be able to do is create any type of workflow that we want. The workflow can be to a specific employee, or it may be company-wide if we updated our org chart, or we've got a new phone contact list. But what we're able to do is tell this system, I need to stay engaged with a single employee to renew their driver's license. So I can create a workflow and I can push out an alert or a task that needs to be completed by the employee. If they need to engage, they'll be alerted that your driver's license is set to expire. Here's a renewal application. Complete it, fill it out, send it back to management so we can review it and update the renewal and the expiration date in your profile. So that would be a workflow. And then I can track the status of that workflow. If it's complete, if it's been submitted, if it's going to the entire company, how many employees have opened it, reviewed it, signed off on it, and pushed it back into management. So do you have any questions for me? Like, I could keep talking about this all day long. There's so much this system can do. I'm just kind of steering based on, what you mentioned earlier, but a lot of the helpful features or how our clients use it today.
A lot of this is very self-explanatory. I got a lot of my questions out in the very beginning to just understand some areas that I could see as,
Okay.
I guess, like worry points or contentious points for them. So this has been super helpful. It's just now they would just have to kind of figure out if this is the area they want to go in.
Sure.
And just kind of really go from there.
Yeah.
So
So
this has
this,
been helpful.
yeah, I mean, and ultimately it would have been best if Meg was on the phone, right?
Mhm.
Are they in the healthcare industry, therapy?
Yes.
Okay. And so what was their main focus? Were they looking to have a recruiting platform to help them build their organization and then just an HR storage? Is that kind of their main focus today?
Their main focus is just, like I said, just to have one central system where everything kind of goes into and comes out of,
Okay.
versus a number of different systems, and then just also being set up for scalability.
Yeah.
They see their organization growing this year. And so with growth, you obviously want to make sure you have systems in place to be able to deal with whatever the growth is.
Absolutely. So Swipeclock can future-proof this client's needs because it's very
Mhm.
agile, it's very custom, and they won't outgrow it, right? Like you said, you want to have that integration, you want to have that seamless and that simplicity. So why don't I
Yeah.
do this? I'll send you a copy of today's recording. We did keep it very high level, so there's a lot more detail that
Mhm.
we could go into, but that changes based on the client that I'm talking to. Um, so I'll send you information, and I'll kind of separate out the different platforms, but then send you information when we all tie it together with Workforce Hub.
Mhm.
If the client wants to schedule another call, reach out to me directly, and we can get on another call similar today, and we can kind of talk more about their specific needs and how this system would work based on what they're looking for today, but then how they could grow into it into the future.
Just out of curiosity, what, from a pricing perspective, if we went with the full system,
Uh-huh.
what does pricing look like for that? And currently, let's say they only have one, maybe two actual employees.
Okay. So all of our systems are a month-to-month subscription. So whether that's
Mhm.
you purchase them a la carte or if you want to use the entire platform, um, it's typically a cost per employee per month,
Yep.
um, and it's $6 per employee per month. But there is a minimum employee usage of 5. So they would have 2 employees today. They would pay that minimum of 5, which means they would basically have 3 open seats for new employees to come on, and their pricing wouldn't change until they hit that 6 employee mark. Okay.
So there's a 5 employee minimum. Um, and so as far as setup costs go, like what are there any added costs for that? Like, and with it being a month to month, is this something where they could have it 1 month and then decide that they can't afford it slash don't want to use it anymore and they can cancel at the beginning of another month and you kind of give a 30 days notice? Or is this what are the contract terms, I should say?
So 0 contracts. So yes, if we get everything all built and they use it and it's not quite what they're looking for, they just need to reach out to us. Because our system bills in arrears, we always look and we're always billing for the previous month's activity, right? Because a lot of our
Mm.
clients, they fluctuate in staff every month, right? This month I had 10, the previous month I had 15, right? We fluctuate. So our system will automatically recognize the previous month's activity and invoice accordingly. So they can cancel at any time, no contracts. Um, we do have the one-time implementation and training costs. They're nothing egregious. Typically for the entire package setup, you're $500-600 one-time cost. If they're a la carte set up, they could be 150 to 250 per solution. And really what changes is the customization that the client wants to do, right? So
That makes
time,
sense.
yeah. So
Mm.
it's really about just speaking directly with this client and saying, okay, what exactly do you need? Do you need timekeeping? Okay, how do we need to set it up? Is it custom for contractors, unions, different labor laws for states? We set it up so that the system is compliant.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I think that's all that I have. I think it would be super helpful, like you said, to send this recording and then also to just kind of send the breakout so they can understand. What I would do, if anything, just since I've gone through these bringing on these systems or like system upgrades, would be to basically just do everything all at one time so it's ready to go versus having to like get back in there and spend the capacity or the hours trying to get the system to where you need it to be in the midst of like when you need it to be there, right? So
Absolutely. And
so
we can
yeah,
do
so
that, no problem. Yeah.
okay. Well, I look forward to that and thank you so much for this call. It's super helpful.
You're welcome. I'll send you information. I'll recap. Did this client have a timeline, what they're looking for?
Yeah, I would think that they want to make a decision in the next couple of weeks just so that they can be able to rock and roll in end of January, beginning of February.
Sounds good. I'll send you the information. I'll check back in a couple of days, and then, like I said, if Meg wants to get on another call and kind of walk through specifics, I'm more than happy to do that.
Okay.
All right, Ernest. Well, I appreciate your time. Watch for my email. If you have any other questions, just let me know. Okay.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye
All right.
bye.
See ya. Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.